Is it screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so last class we have discussed about and we have completed the parasympathetic part. Now we are moving toward the sympathetic system. Sorry. So, as just before starting the sympathetic nervous system, I will recall the sentence. Sati, S stands for the sympathetic, A stands for the adrenergic, that neurotransmitter is the noradrenaline, T stands for the thoracolumbar, and I stands for the inhibitor in nature except heart and blood vessels. So whatever the pharmacological effects which we are expecting, that will be inhibitor in nature except heart and blood vessels. So there we will have the positive effect. The neurotransmitter released in this is the noradrenaline, and this belongs to the catecholamine. The different catecholamines are dopamine, noradrenaline. They are the belongs to the class of the catecholamine. So this noradrenaline is also one of the example of the catecholamine. But here don't confuse with the adrenaline. This adrenaline we are considering as a hormone, while noradrenaline is the neurotransmitter. So this is just about the brief of the sympathetic nervous system. Now let us go through the synthesis first. Synthesis of this noradrenaline, that start with the tyrosine in the neurons, and with the help of the hydroxylase it is converted into the dopa. This dopa is again converted into the dopamine by dopa decarboxylase, that forms the dopamine, and this dopamine, that is with the help of the beta hydroxylase, it forms the norepinephrine, and this norepinephrine will be stored in this vesicles. Once there is a stimulation like calcium, if there is a stimulation, based on that stimulation, this noradrenaline, or it is also known as a norepinephrine, that is released by the process of exocytosis. Now this norepinephrine, either first, as we are expecting that it will be producing the effect by binding with the receptors. So here we will have the receptors, adrenoreceptors. We will see which are the receptor types. Like in muscarinic, in the parasympathetic we were discussing muscarinic, nicotinic. Like here we will have the alpha and beta. So this norepinephrine, that is going to interact with the adrenoreceptor. Second part, that it will be undergoing for the uptake process. This is uptake one, means this norepinephrine will be taken up back by the neuron. So uptake take place, and this norepinephrine will be reuptake by the neurons. That is one part. And in the neuron there is a metabolizing enzyme that is known as a MAO. There are two metabolizing enzymes, MAO and another is the COMT. These are the two metabolizing enzymes which will be metabolizing the norepinephrine. Regarding this, just go through this table, that MAO A and MAO B. Two metabolizing enzyme, one is the MAO and another is the COMT. So this MAO, that epinephrine, will be converted into the 3,4-dihydroxy mandelic acid. Then with the help of the COMT, it is going to be converted into the vanillyl mandelic acid. It is 3-methoxy-4-hydroxy mandelic acid. This MAO, this is just for the knowledge purpose I am discussing over here, and you should be aware also with this MAO there are two subtypes, MAO A and MAO B. The one is the A and another is the B. This preferentially the MAO B, that mainly metabolizes the dopamine, while MAO A, that is for tyramine, norepinephrine, 5-HT, dopamine. This specific inhibitors which are used for the treatment, that MAO A inhibitor, they are used for the depression, while the MAO B, that is for the Parkinson, as we have already discussed some points, or initially that is related to the Parkinson, that is dopamine related disease, decrease in the dopamine. So inhibitors, they are used in the Parkinson's disease. One, when the Mao name comes, we should also remember the interaction. You might have studied the drug-drug interaction. This Mao, that is having the drug interaction with the tyramine containing food. Tyramine containing food like cheese, there is a cheese reaction which is known as a, because both are inhibiting this MAO, that will increase the catecholamine level. If we inhibit this MAO enzyme, then what happened? It will increase the epinephrine concentration. Once there is an increase in epinephrine concentration, it will lead to the, as we know that epinephrine, sympathetic nervous system, sympathomimetic, in general inhibitor in nature except heart and blood vessels. So in blood vessels and heart, it will produce the positive effect. So what happened if we take this MAO inhibitor with the tyramine containing food? It will result into the hypertension. So hypertensive crisis may take place if you take this MAO inhibitor with the tyramine containing food. Like this example I have taken, cheese. So be careful whenever this patient is on the MAO inhibitor. You should check for this interaction, if any. So just coming back, that here the metabolizing enzyme are MAO and COMT. Now we will discuss about this adrenoreceptor. The adrenoreceptors are major the alpha and beta. When we are going into the detail, we will have this. These are known as a direct acting. For example, receptor पे अगर कोई काम करता है, तो that will be considered as a direct acting, either sympathomimetic or sympatholytic, or if it is acting through this MAO, COMT, or through this uptake process or anywhere else, then it will be considered as indirectly acting. So here this alpha and beta receptors are there. In that first one, alpha 1, alpha 2, there are two subtypes of the alpha, beta, beta 1, beta 2, beta 3. Related to this alpha 1, they are located post-synaptic. Their presence is there on the eye, blood vessels, uterus. While the alpha 2, that is known as a presynaptic. Alpha 2, याद रखो, alpha 2, that is the presynaptic. Now if you observe the effect, this alpha 2, they decrease the cyclic MP. Calcium IP3, that will be decreased while increase in the potassium. Now just remember that increase in the cyclic MP, calcium IP3, what is the effect on the blood pressure, blood vessels basically? Here it inhibits the feedback inhibition of the norepinephrine release, while here alpha 1, if you stimulate, it will cause the vasoconstriction as well as the contraction of the muscles. So here it blood vessel vasoconstriction means, simply just remember this, that stimulation of the alpha 1 adrenoreceptor. Now I'm correlating these words. Stimulation of the alpha 1 adrenoreceptor, they increase the IP3 DAG. Means just remember this, that because of this there will be vasoconstriction. अब इसको अपने apply करेंगे if we are studying the chapter blood pressure or hypertension, basically hypertension. So in hypertension, just remember that we will be using alpha 1 antagonist. Alpha 1 antagonist, as we want to inhibit this process. While what may be the situation with this alpha 2, they are presynaptic receptors, they are decreasing this, means here we are going to use the agonist. So mimetic agent we will prefer for the treatment of the hypertension, while here we are using the antagonist. I yaad rakhjo whenever you are studying the chapter hypertension in pharmacology or in therapeutic. So here we are going to use the agonist. Here we are targeting about the antagonist. So alpha 1 antagonist is preferred for the treatment of hypertension. Alpha 2 agonist that is used for the hypertension treatment. Now coming to this beta receptors. Beta 1 subtype beta 1 that is located mainly that is in the heart, as well as it is also in the adipose tissue. Major adipose tissue will have the beta 3 receptors. Beta 3 receptors. There is also role reported, central role is also reported in the diabetes related to this beta 3 receptors. But we are targeting over here the beta 1, beta 2, beta 1 heart and blood vessels, while beta 2 that is mainly in the smooth muscles like respiratory tract and GIT. So if you stimulate the beta 1 receptor, now again we will repeat the statement. Sympathomimetic in general inhibitory in nature except heart and blood vessel. So on heart and blood vessel it is producing the positive effect. So just come back, this beta 1 receptor stimulation that will increase the heart rate and force of contraction. So it increase the heart rate and force of contraction. While here the beta 2 receptor that obviously inhibitory effect, like it will produce the relaxation effect. For example, if we take the respiratory muscles, so it is going to produce like beta 2. You have to make this classification. You have to write down this classification from the book. I will just give few example from this category, like beta 2 respiratory muscles, it producing the relaxation. So effect कौन सी आएगी? If we take the bronchial muscles, so it will produce the bronchodilation. Like if we are having the patient of the asthma, अगर अस्थमा का पेशेंट है तो in that asthma what happened, the bronchoconstriction, airway obstruction is there, so we want to dilate this bronchodilation effect, we want to produce in asthma to treat. तो क्या करेंगे अपने, we will be using beta 2 agonist like salbutamol, we will be using the beta 2 agonist. Just remember like this, you can easily understand the concept of the treatment also if you remember the effects. Then lastly beta 3, which I already discussed, that is mainly in the adipose tissue, and effect is that is the lipolysis, enhancement of the lipolysis in adipose tissue. So if you stimulate, it will increase the lipolysis process. This is about the adrenergic receptor and the alpha and beta adrenoreceptors. This is the same thing, that alpha 1 adrenoreceptor will produce the vasoconstriction. Just remember earlier slide that alpha 1 क्या यूज करेंगे, we will be using the antagonist for the treatment, because this alpha 1 receptor they are producing the vasoconstriction. Like alpha 2 adrenoreceptor, they decrease the release, they are presynaptic, so decrease the release of the norepinephrine, and that is why it is helpful in reducing the blood pressure. पहले वाला फिर से याद करो यहाँ पे, like the alpha 2 क्या कर रहे हैं अपने, we are, if you want to treat, we will be using the agonist for the treatment like clonidine. So here this centrally acting agent or centrally acting antihypertensive agent like clonidine, this is one of the example of the alpha 2 adrenoreceptor agonist. And this is same which I discussed earlier, beta 1 adrenoreceptor that is producing the positive effect on the heart and blood vessels, while beta 2 adrenoreceptor they are bronchodilatory or inhibitory effect on the bronchial smooth muscles, so bronchodilation, and beta 3 that is adipose tissue lipolysis. Now just briefly I will tell you the classification, but further you have to prepare the classification that is from the books. So just a few examples I am discussing over here, like alpha 1 agonist कहाँ यूज होगा बोलो, Alpha 1 hypertension agonist, antagonist.
Antagonist.
Antagonist. Alpha 2
Agonist.
agonist. So just recap, these are the example: alpha 1 agonist, the methyl methoxamine, phenylephrine. This major, that is as a nasal decongestant, it is also used. Then alpha 2 clonidine, that is used in the hypertension. These are the other example: alpha methyl norepinephrine, guanbenzine, epraclonidine. They are used in the hypertension. Here you can see that is for the hypotension alpha 1 agonist. Then mixed. હવે આ જે વર્ડ યુઝ થાય છે કે when we are saying selective alpha 2 clonidine જ્યારે કહીએ, it is selective alpha 2 agonist. જ્યારે noradrenaline જે કહીએ તો noradrenaline it is non selective in the sense it is not having the selectivity for the alpha 1 or alpha 2. अच्छा, અહીંયા પણ જે કહીએ that is the dominant effect. So here noradrenaline, that is termed as a non selective alpha agonist, or we can write down alpha 1 alpha 2 agonist. બંનેમાંથી કંઈ પણ લખાય, alpha 1 alpha 2 agonist, or we can write down non selective alpha agonist. So this is again that is used for the acute hypotension. હવે આ યાદ ના રહે ને તો પાછું પેલું સેન્ટેન્સ બોલવાનું, સતી, the sympathetic nervous system in general inhibitory in nature except heart and blood vessels. So here it is used for the acute hypotension because noradrenaline administration will be increase the blood pressure. Same we can use for the positive effect in for the heart, that is the useful in the cardiac arrest as well as the septic shock. And this is in addition, it is in combination with the local anesthetic, because this noradrenaline administration will produce the vasoconstriction, and because of that vasoconstriction effect, it will localize the effect as well as it will prolong the duration of action of anesthetic. This is for local anesthetic. So it will extend the local effect to prolong the duration of action of the anesthetic, that is used in combination. Now beta 1 example is the dobutamine. Dobutamine is the agonist, that is used for the cardiac compensation, and this is also low cardiac output. It is also useful, but this is off-label use. Off-label use in the sense use like cardiac decompression, that is indicated, and the another off-label use is the low cardiac output. Beta 2 agonist like that salbutamol, જે મેં તમને આગળ કીધું, that salbutamol, or USA, that is albuterol. Same one like acetaminophen and paracetamol. Salbutamol, USA name is the albuterol, that is used in the asthma prevention as well as the maintenance, because that will be this administration of the beta 2 agonist. Just remember that earlier presentation that beta 2 smooth muscle, it will produce the bronchodilation, that is why we are using in the treatment of the asthma. So agonist will be useful for the treatment of the asthma. So same, these are the related to the respiratory effects. So these are the other. Acha, you have to also prepare the classification based on the duration of action, long acting, short acting, like for this beta 2 agonist, salbutamol, salmeterol, terbutaline, formoterol, ritotrine, that is uterine relaxant, that is used for the to suppress the premature labor. Induction of labor માટે use થાય છે uterine contractant, while or they are also known as abortifacient, while these are the uterine relaxant agent, because smooth muscle પર શું effect આપશે? Relaxation. So that is the beta 2 agonist. Now non-selective agonist example is the isoprenaline, orsiprenaline, They are used for the Adams-Stokes attack as well as the cardiac arrest or heart block. That is also useful in the shock as well as the bronchospasm during anesthesia. So these are again directly acting agent. So earlier we discussed alpha directly acting agent. Here beta directly acting as well as the directly acting beta 1 beta 2 as well as the non-selective agonist. Now lastly alpha beta agonist. હવે આને આ બધા નામ યાદ રાખવા પડશે. Which one is the selective, which one is the non-selective? For example, if I take the noradrenaline, noradrenaline is the non-selective, but non-selective it is for the alpha, while adrenaline again it is also non-selective, but non-selective effect kya છે? Alpha beta. So non-selective alpha beta agonist. Again, that is also useful for the asthma as well as that is useful for the severe anaphylaxis reaction, and it is also useful for the symptomatic bradycardia. That is off-label use. Now moving towards the indirectly acting. થોડોક સ્પીડમાં જઈ રહ્યો છે. If you have doubt, you can ask me. Because because of the limitation of the time, we missed the 8 lectures during these practical sessions. So just I'm trying to cover in a speedy way. But if you have any doubt, you can ask me later also, after the completion of the class also, or in between, wherever you feel it convenient. Now this indirectly acting. Indirectly acting means, as I discussed earlier, the directly acting means the agents which are targeting over these receptors. Those who are acting like metabolism through uptake, like metabolism MAO, COMT, or dealing with the synthesis or dealing with this release pattern, they will be considered as indirectly acting. So here indirectly acting sympathomimetic means what we want to do, either we will increase the release, what we will be targeting, either we will be increase the release, or what we will be doing, we will inhibit this transmitter. If we inhibit this transmitter metabolism, then and also we will be having the increase in the level of the neurotransmitter. So here we are blocking this metabolism, or what we are targeting, we are stimulating this release. So just let us discuss indirectly acting. So first one, noradrenaline releasing agent. હવે જ્યારે આ sympatholytic discuss કરીશું, at that time here there will be inhibiting agents. So noradrenaline releasing agent example is the amphetamine, tyramine. આ tyramine કોઈ જગ્યાએ આવ્યું? આગળ કોઈ જગ્યાએ tyramine discuss થયું?
ઇન્ટરેક્શન માઓમાં.
ઇન્ટરેક્શન કયું ઇન્ટરેક્શન હતું?
માઓ જોડે ટાયરામિન કન્ટેનિંગ ફૂડ નહીં લેવાનું.
હા, એક્ઝામ્પલ ફૂડ નું?
cheese,
cheese. So that is why just remember that earlier slide. cheese જોડે જો તમે આપશો, અહીંયા કયા એજન્ટ છે? Here the agent non-specific inhibitors, MAO inhibitor છે. MAO inhibitor તમે આપેલું છે already. MAO inhibitor શું કરશે? Metabolism inhibit કરશે. એ increase શું કરશે? Noradrenaline level. Same when we are giving tyramine containing food. હવે અહીંયા discuss કરીએ આપણે કે tyramine containing food જો આપ્યું છે, આ શું વધારશે? Noradrenaline release. એટલે આ સિચ્યુએશનમાં શું થશે? બંને agent, both the agent, they are trying to elevate this tyramine containing food will also increase the noradrenaline level. Non-specific inhibitor, MAO inhibitors, they will also increase the level by inhibiting the metabolism. So ultimately it will result into the hypertensive crisis. That is why we avoid this combination, or it will result into the drug interaction. Amphetamine major use chair, that is related to the CNS. Amphetamine that is useful in the narcolepsy. A narcolepsy કઈ લાપસી છે? નાર્કોલેપ્સી બેઝિકલી જે જનરલી હું લેક્ચર્સમાં કહેતો હોઉં છું કે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ they are having during the lectures. So during lecture what happened? In spite of the adequate sleep during night, students શું થશે lecture દરમિયાન સુઈ જશે. The sleep will be there. So just for ease of remember, this is the sudden and controllable episodes, sleep episodes, that is known as a narcolepsy. એટલે જે મેં એક્ઝામ્પલ આપ્યું લેક્ચર દરમિયાન આપણે કંટ્રોલ ના કરી શકીએ ને સુઈ જઈએ ચાલુ ક્લાસમાં. Just for the understanding I am giving this example, but it is just mimicking that narcolepsy, that it is also useful in the obesity because it is reducing the calorie intake. So calorie restriction, that is why we are using this. As well as this releasing agent, they are also useful for the ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity syndrome. So this is related to the noradrenaline releasing agent. Next category જોઈએ આપણે, that is the MAO inhibitor. અહીંયા આપણે કરવું છે ultimately noradrenaline level વધારવું છે. So by inhibiting this enzyme we will increase the level. Example છે like nialamide, pargylene, selagiline, moclobemide. They are the examples of the MAO inhibitor. Selective wise जो है तो you can also go for the selective agents MAO A and MAO B. ये पण જોઈ લેજો. Thus this is useful in the Parkinson disease. Then uptake blocker. Third point, uptake blocker. અહીંયા શું કરીએ આપણે? એક પોઈન્ટ આપણે જોયું release. Second, enzyme. Third, uptake. जो uptake block કરી દઈશું આ, because of that blocking of this uptake again it will increase the norepinephrine level. So uptake blocker examples are cocaine major, that is used for the topical anesthesia. Then there are category of the agent જેના suffix માં આવશે pramine, imipramine, desipramine, amitriptyline, nortriptyline. This uptake blocker ma specifically they are also known as tricyclic antidepressant. Tricyclic antidepressant આ ખાલી યાદ રાખવા માટે અહીંયા હું કહી રહ્યો છું, કેમિકલ ક્લાસ છે actually. Tricyclic antidepressant એના પરથી યાદ રહે તમને, that is useful in the treatment of the depression. આમાં specifically there are selective blocker. જેમ મેં તમને કીધું કે this are catecholamine. તો selective uptake blocker પણ છે, that 5-HT uptake blocker જે selective block કરશે 5-HT નો. This is not related to the noradrenaline. Selectively block કોને કરશે? 5-HT no uptake. 5-HT also catecholamine. So if we block the selectively 5-HT uptake blocker, example છે oxetine, fluoxetine as well as the fluoxamine. अब दा नाम याद रखजो, they are difficult but not much difficult that we can not remember this. તમારે 5-6 વખત બોલતા રહેવું પડશે નામ બધા, and એક ક્લાસ બીજા ક્લાસમાં ના જતો રહે. જેમ કે હું એમિપ્રેમાઇન કહું ને પછી એમ ના કહેવું જોઈએ કે માઓ ઇન્હિબિટર. યાદ રાખવાનું કે નાયલેમાઇડ આવી રીતે જ બોલવાનું, નાયલેમાઇડ, પરગાયલિન, સેલેજિલિન, મોક્લોબમાઇડ. આ સિક્વન્સમાં બોલો, ગાઓ, and you can easily remember like this. પણ રિવિઝન કરશો તો જ નામ યાદ રહેશે, because this is just mimetic. આવી રીતે આખો ક્લાસ આવશે લાઇટિક. Okay, coming back, the selective uptake blocker, they are useful in the again for the treatment of the depressive disorders, major depressive disorder, as well as the આપણે મેં કદાચ ડિસ્કસ કરેલું છે obsessive compulsive disorder, that some obsessiveness that result into the compulsion of the repetitive. આ anxiety વખતે ડિસ્કસ કર્યો છે ક્યાંક મેં. And last one, bulimia nervosa. Bulimia nervosa, that is again the over intake of the food. 5-HT receptor, they are present in the food. Sorry, stomach, not food, stomach. So based on that, there is a disease, bulimia nervosa. So एक agent से antipsychotic 5-HT related any adverse effect है that is the bulimia nervosa, જે 5-HT receptor ને block કરે છે. So here what we are doing, here we are doing increasing the level of the 5-HT. Uptake block થશે એટલે 5-HT level શું થશે, stimulate થશે. That is why we can use this for the treatment. So આ છે major depressive disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, bulimia nervosa, therapeutic uses of the 5-HT, selective 5-HT uptake blocker. I hope I am not going speedily. You can refer, I will upload this lecture on the YouTube, so you can refer it later also. Now effects, again we will say the same statement. Sympathetic nervous system in general inhibitor in nature except heart and blood vessels. So the effects that on the heart, increase heart rate and force of contraction. અમે પહેલા પણ સમજાવ્યું છે, this is the situation like facing a tiger. So when you are facing a tiger, there will be increase in the heart rate as well as the force of contraction. Effect on the eyes, that will producing the mydriasis, આંખો પોડી થશે, like dilation of pupil. So mydriasis, and mild will be anxious, alert થઈ જશો when you are facing a tiger, and it will be also anger, but not anger to fight with the tiger, either to fight or flight. Flight થવા માટે and flight, sorry, fight કરવા માટે and flight કરવા માટે, both we need the energy, and this energy that is by the liver, that it increase the glycogenolysis as well as the in the adipose tissue, it will increase the lipolysis. So we need the energy either to fight with this or to flight. And on the bronchial muscle, we already discussed that on the bronchial muscle it will produce the bronchodilation. These are the pharmacological actions of the sympathomimetic. હું sympathomimetic ચલાઈશ, you can easily understand about the sympatholytic. So here the sympathomimetic and sympatholytic will have the opposite effects. They are physiological antagonist. And just again remember the statement, दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त, जे मैं already समझालू છે આગળ. So based on this, what will be these effects, therapeutic uses of the sympathomimetic agents, as they are having the positive effect on the heart, and on the bronchial muscles they are having the negative effect. So we are using these agents for the cardiac arrest, in the bronchial asthma, as well as the severe anaphylactic reaction, and off-label use, but still it is considered as a use. So symptomatic treatment of the bradycardia, brady decrease cardia rate, so decrease in the rate. If you want to treat, what we will do, we will administer the sympathomimetic agent. Here the example, adrenaline is administered. Again be careful, that is for the IV infusion. So these are the therapeutic uses of the sympathomimetic. So this was all about the sympathomimetic agent. I think this bombardment is enough for the day. The remaining topic we will discuss in next class. If you wish, then I can continue. કેટલો time થયો?
1:06.
હજુ time છે I think, હે ને? Should I continue? Okay, now I will continue, because there is no reply. So no reply, I consider it as a positive response. or else I cannot hear any response from the student side. So next is the sympatholytic. હવે આ જો આવડતું હશે sympathomimetic, so you can easily write down the sympatholytic. Just what you have to do, you have to go through the classification. That is the most important part. So classification, before going, just remember sympatholytic, दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त. હવે ઇફેક્ટ્સ જે અહીંયા બ્રીફલી કરી દઉં. sympathomimetic opposite effect, that is of the sympatholytic, दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त. sympathomimetic નો બીજા ક્લાસનો દુશ્મન is the parasympathomimetic. અહીંયા ખાલી લખી રહ્યો છું અત્યારે parasympathomimetic. So दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त sympathomimetic નો દુશ્મન કોણ છે? sympatholytic. sympatholytic નો બીજો ક્લાસ sympathomimetic નો બીજા ક્લાસનો દુશ્મન છે parasympathomimetic. These two are enemy. So what, कहाँ जाके बैठेगा ये parasympathomimetic? बोलो फटाफट આગળ પહેલા ચીજ દેલો જો. હા, કોની જોડે બેસશે?
sympatholytic.
sympatholytic. So किसके जैसी इफेक्ट होगी sympatholytic और
parasympathomimetic.
parasympathomimetic? और sympathomimetic के जैसी इफेक्ट किसकी होगी?
Parasympatholytic.
parasympatholytic. So just remember that atropine effects, atropine की effects अगर आप देखोगे तो it will be similar to that of the sympathomimetic which we discussed today. And here now sympatholytic, उसकी effects जो आपने already पढ़ी हुई है parasympathomimetic, so we will have this similar effect to that. So now let us discuss about the sympatholytic. First we will discuss about the directly acting. Directly acting, again we will have the selective alpha 1, selective alpha 2, then non-selective. Now just remember this classification. આના suffix માં આવશે જોસિન બધા, right? પ્રાજોસિન, ટેરાજોસિન, ડોક્સાજોસિન, પ્રિમાજોસિન. એક અહીંયા ચેન્જ છે, that is the tamsulosin. આ યાદ રાખવાનું લગતી, બાકી otherwise suffix will have the josin in this. So alpha 1 antagonist. Just remember the earlier one, જ્યાંથી મેં start કર્યું હતું. Do we use the agonist or antagonist for the treatment of the hypertension?
Antagonist.
Antagonist. And what about the alpha 2?
Agonist.
Agonist. આ યાદ રાખજો, ફેરવીને એકબીજાને પૂછજો અને યાદ કરી લેજો. So here alpha 1 antagonist, they will be useful in the treatment of the hypertension. Again, adverse effect that will be related to this, that is producing the orthostatic hypotension. That is one of the commonly observed adverse effect. Serious adverse effect है, that is the pancreatitis, that was the priapism, that as the serious adverse effect, but their frequency is the less than 1% only. Next, alpha 2 yohimbine is the example, that is useful for the impotence as well as the aphrodisiac effect is there. Then non-selective. Non-selective માં બે subtype છે ફરીથી. Here one is the phenoxybenzamine. આ કદાચ આપણે discuss કર્યું હતું, that was in the pharmacodynamic part earlier at the time of the antagonism. The one irreversible phenoxybenzamine કેવું છે? Irreversible non-selective alpha blocker, while another phentolamine and tolazolin. This tolazolin that is already withdrawn from the market because of the toxicity, but just I want to point out here, this phenoxybenzamine is irreversible alpha blocker, while phenoxybenzamine and tolazolin, they are reversible blocker. Usefulness regarding therapeutic uses, it is useful in the pheochromocytoma. Pheochromocytoma, that is the cancer of adrenal medulla. So just to treat that, what we will be doing, we will be using the antagonist. So it is useful in the pheochroma, cytoma, as well as the off-label use, that is the bladder management. Adverse effect, the dry mouth. Now just remember this is the antagonist. Antagonist in the sense sympatholytic. Now parasympathomimetic. Just remember that atropine, parasympathomimetic will have the similar effect to the sympatholytic, while sympathomimetic will have the similar effect to the parasympatholytic. So just remember that here this alpha non-selective alpha blocker antagonist, so they are producing the adverse effect like dry mouth, nausea, vomiting, as well as they will also inhibit the ejaculation because of this blockage. But here this is the combined effect, so don't be confused by looking on this orthostatic hypotension and then there is a tachycardia. So there are dual effects which we can observe here. The one is that is the alpha 2 as well as the alpha 1. So combination effect are observed, or combined effect we will be observing with this. Next, this common statement that block the alpha receptor mediated action, thus inhibit the alpha receptor mediated responses, means we are inhibiting the sympathetic stimulation. Now generation wise, the different generation, beta 1 antagonist આપણે આગળ જોયું, that was the alpha. Now beta 1, you might be surprised that here directly I am starting with the second generation, then the third generation. તો અહીંયા first generation શું હોઈ શકે? Any guesses? Here the selectivity is there. જ્યારે non selective initially જે હતા, they are the first generation agents like propranolol, that is the non selective beta antagonist. જ્યારે generation wise જેમ જેમ next generation જે inventions થાય, they will be increasing towards the selectivity. So beta 1 antagonist, the example second generation like atenolol, acebutol. અહીંયા બધામાં પાછળ જે lol, not lots of laugh. So atenolol, acebutol, bisoprolol, everywhere you will be finding this lol, metolol, prectolol, esmolol. But આ યાદ રાખજો કે whether it is a selective or non-selective, the agents say they are the selective. Second generation, these are also selective. Nebivolol, beta-hexolol, celiprolol, આ બધા છે, they are the third generation, but again this is also selective. The difference जो જોઈએ, the second generation beta 1 selective, they are the cardio selective. So indicated in the coronary artery disease, tachyarrhythmia, heart failure, hypertension. Third generation vasodilating agents है carvedilol as well as the nebivolol. They are particularly indicated in the arterial hypertension as well as the heart failure. અહીંયા જોશો, so third generation and second generation. આગળ જઈએ આપણે તો first generation propranolol. હવે આની બીજી ઘણી બધી effects છે in addition to this usefulness in the or effects in the cardiovascular system. This propranolol that also inhibiting the conversion of T4 to T3. That is why it is also useful in the thyroid. Then slightly antiarrhythmic agents. If you have studied the cardiovascular system, that it belongs to the class 1 antiarrhythmic agent. So एक થયું that thyroid, second arrhythmia. Then it is also useful in the treatment of the migraine. It is useful as a prophylaxis. Low dose આપવામાં આવે છે propranolol, that is also useful in the treatment of the prophylaxis of the migraine. And major use, that is the hypertension. Then comes the angina, pheochromocytoma, then others. effects or uses of this beta 2 antagonist. First generation examples છે બીજા timolol, nadolol, pindolol, penbutolol. They are the also first generation. આમાંથી હજુ એક એજન્ટ જે યુઝ થાય છે that is the sotalol, that is also useful in the treatment of the arrhythmia. It is also having the anti-arrhythmic agent. So this is all about the beta 2 antagonist. Selective, non-selective. In addition, timolol જે major usefulness છે, timolol drops જે use થાય છે, that is useful in the glaucoma, as well as it is also having this therapeutic effect, angina, hypertension, migraine prophylaxis, ocular hypertension, open angle glaucoma, and it is also useful in the myocardial infarction and prophylaxis for the supraventricular arrhythmia or paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia, PSVT પણ જે કહેવાય છે, paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia, PSVT. So you might be studying these terminologies in the cardiovascular system. So this timolol majorly the therapeutic use that is in the glaucoma. Ophthalmic adverse effects, they are the blood vessel, burning sensation, as well as the dry eyes. They are the ophthalmic adverse effects. Biji effects you can go through it. Non-selective beta, alpha beta antagonist examples carvedilol, labetalol. અમે આવી રીતે યાદ રાખતા હતા, લાબેટાલોલ, એમાસુલોલ. So amoxicillin, labetalol, carvedilol, they are non-selective alpha beta antagonist. They are useful in the congestive cardiac failure as well as the hypertension. Again, adverse effect, cardiovascular adverse effect, they are the hypotension as well as the severe cardiovascular effect. They are the atrioventricular blockage, that is the serious cardiovascular adverse effect, but that is in the less than 1% to 3% of the population. So just in the summary, this first generation blocker like propranolol, sotalol, they are beneficial in the treatment of the arrhythmia as well as the treatment of the portal hypertension. Second generation, the beta blocker, examples याद रखो यहाँ थी आगर थी, like first generation, second generation, third generation. This you have to remember for the selectivity as well as the non-selective agents. Then third generation, they are useful in the treatment of the arterial hypertension as well as the heart failure because they are having the effect on the vasodilated effect. And the last one, non-selective beta blocker like alpranolol, that is also considered the partial agonist that is used in the treatment of MI, but nowadays it is no longer available. Then comes the last part of this beta blocker, that most of this beta blocker except this carvedilol and nebivolol, just go through that where this name was, this nebivolol, carvedilol. So except this most of this beta blocker, they are taken up into, stored and released from the adrenergic cells. So consequently, the plasma concentration that is increased during exercise. So this was about the directly acting agents, directly acting sympatholytic agents. Now indirectly acting. અહીંયા શું કરીશું આપણે? We will inhibit this release of the norepinephrine. So release inhibitors, example હવે આને આવી રીતે બોલવાના, guanethidine, guanexon, bretallium, debrizoquin or any sequence તમે બોલો, but you have to remember suppose guanethidine के guanafzone नाम आयु छे, you must remember that it is inhibiting the adrenergic neuron. आज खबर नहीं हो तो आगळ कहीं नहीं समझ पड़े. If you are clear with this classification, then by remembering the statement sati, as well as you can write down easily the mechanism of action. Then once you can write down the mechanism of action, you can easily write down the pharmacological actions. Once you are clear with the pharmacological actions, then you can write down the therapeutic uses, as well as you can have the guesses on the adverse effect in addition to nausea, vomiting and diarrhea. So આ બધું sequence યાદ કરવા માટે what you have to remember? You have to remember where these agents belong. Otherwise જો exam માં પૂછ્યું કે write the mechanism of action, pharmacological actions, therapeutic uses and adverse effect of propranolol, તો પહેલું તો યાદ કરવું પડશે કે આ લોલ ક્યાં આવે છે, lots of love, where it does belong, whether it is in the parasympathomimetic, sympathomimetic, sympatholytic. Sympatholytic છે તો સિલેક્ટિવ છે, નોન સિલેક્ટિવ છે, સિલેક્ટિવ છે તો આલ્ફા સિલેક્ટિવ છે કે બીટા સિલેક્ટિવ છે? બોલો ક્યાં છે પ્રોપ્રાનોલોલ? Therapeutic uses is in the hypertension. Propranolol क्या नाम आया तो?
Non-selective beta.
Non-selective beta agonist, antagonist?
Antagonist.
Antagonist. Clonidine? તો લખેલું હશે ક્યાંક ક્લોનિડીન. બોલે સર ખાલી અમે છે ને વિડિયો ચાલુ કરીને બેસી ગયા છે, રેકોર્ડિંગ છે જ. we will go through this lecture later. ક્લોનિડીન બોલો ફટાફટ.
Agonist alpha.
Alpha 1 or 2?
Alpha 2.
2.
Alpha 2. Alpha 2 post presynaptic ગણાય કે ના ગણાય?
Presynaptic.
Presynaptic. હાઇપરટેન્શન માં યુઝ કરાશે કે નહીં? Okay.
Alpha 2.
Salbutamol. Alpha 2 agonist that is useful in the treatment of hypertension. Salbutamol.
Beta 2
Beta 2
agonist.
Beta 2 agonist. અસ્થમા માં યુઝ થશે મેજર કે હાઇપરટેન્શન માટે?
Asthma.
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 તો ફાર્માકોલોજીકલ એક્શન્સ લખવી હોય તો હું કેવી રીતના લખીશ આની?
Bronchodilation.
Bronchodilatory effect. Okay, good. So here next in continuation indirectly acting drug which affect the norepinephrine synthesis. Examples are this alpha methyl paratyrosine that inhibit the tyrosine hydroxylase. હવે આ બધા જે એજન્ટ્સ છે એ શું ઇનહિબિટ કરશે? જે ફર્સ્ટ મેં તમને સ્ટાર્ટિંગ જ્યાં કર્યું હતું regarding the synthesis, એટલે હવે synthesis ને ઇનહિબિટ કરશો, then we are inhibiting the formation or pathway inhibit કરશો, so then we are inhibiting the formation of the norepinephrine. તો અહીંયા આ શું ઇનહિબિટ કરશે? tyrosine hydroxylase. Same carbidopa શું ઇનહિબિટ કરે? dopa decarboxylase. Methyl dopa, that is considered the false transmitter in the initial precursor. So these drugs, they inhibit the norepinephrine synthesis. Example जो already carbidopa में समझायेલું છે, that is in the Parkinson. Levodopa, carbidopa agents જે હતા, carbidopa that inhibit the dopa decarboxylase and useful in the Parkinson disease. Then storage depletary. આની બંને combined points જોવા મળે છે. This reserpine. Here we are discussing as a storage depletary effect. Store deplete કરશે એટલે ખાલી કરવું. So deplete the stores, norepinephrine stores by the reserpine. But this was used as an antihypertensive, but because of this limitation of the depression, that it restrict the use, clinical use, and we are having the more available or better available treatments are there for the hypertension. So nowadays this reserpine is not in clinical practice for the hypertension. So these are the indirectly acting agents. Again, just revising this beta blocker, pharmacological actions, heart, decrease heart rate, on smooth muscle, broncho, constriction. That is why they are contraindicated in the bronchial asthma. What they will do? They will increase the motility. That is why we will be observing the diarrhea. On eye, they are useful for the decrease in the intraocular pressure. They are producing the reduction in the intraocular pressure, and that is why they are useful in the treatment of the glaucoma. Metabolic effect, that decrease the blood glucose level, and because of that, this decrease in blood glucose level, that is by the inhibition of the glucogenolysis, and they also stimulating the insulin release, and thereby they will be decreasing the blood glucose level. So these are the major pharmacological actions of the beta blocker. So thank you for listening. This was all about the sympathomimetic as well